Now, SABC News reporter Hasina Gori was at that particular picket and joins us in studio now. Hasina, thank you so much for your time. I mean, listening to what's coming out from there, but also those who are picketing had quite strong words, especially when it comes to what they say is intimidation of SARS in order for it not to be able to do its work.
And what we saw coming out of it completely from not just Defend Our Democracy, but all the other organizations that came together, they were quite strong also saying that they were not here to protest against SARS. They were protesting in solidarity. They were here to give support to the work that's being done by SARS, by other government officials, by the investigations that are currently underway in many different public entities, trying to seed out corruption, saying that that's why they were here, to say that they will not be stopped, they will not be intimidated. This is an ongoing kind of exercise that has been going on for the last 3 years. From the time we've seen the death of Babita Deokaran, we saw her anniversary last week, and this group has been quite vocal, coming out in support, saying that there's not enough support from government for those that want to come out and give information, for whistleblowers. Many of them lose their jobs. They find themselves being at the end of investigations, that they lose their income, that they're not hireable after this as well, but also that the investigations then sometimes come to a dead end because people are scared. But we heard from the SARS Deputy Commissioner as well today, saying that they are still ongoing, that as recent as last week, following Advocate Coreth Naude's attempted assassination, while she's still recovering in hospital under heavy security, that they are still continuing with this investigation, that they had meetings last week, and that the rest of that group that is still investigating are still doing their work. So this hasn't stopped or halted any of the work that they're doing in this specific inquiry.
And Hasina, as you say, you're taking us back to last week when we were all reflecting on the life of Babita through that particular memorial service, of course, and carrying it live. But there is the sense that, this catch-22 that whistleblowers find themselves in is making things so difficult for them, because even not only, being able to work, putting their lives at risk, they're also putting their families at risk as well.
And we saw that with, the life of Babita Deokaran. She had just dropped her daughter off. There was her domestic helper that was in the home with her. You hear of others having to go into hiding, that just disappear. And we saw in the double murder of the father and son, the Murrays, the curators in this specific case. We spoke with the wife of Thomas this afternoon, who was outside at the picket, saying that she came to support, that she felt that she didn't want to rely on just the public to support her husband and father-in-law. She wanted to be there, that they haven't really been getting any support outside of just updates on the case, and that until very recently, they weren't sure what the reasons, and they're still not sure which case, because they had been working on a multitude of cases. And on the day of their death, they had been investigating something here in Johannesburg. They'd been driving back from Melrose Arch to Pretoria, and they were shot on the highway on the way home. Both of them lost their life. It's been almost just over a year. It happened in March 2023. This is the first time they've spoken publicly, coming out, trying to join these causes to bring awareness on what's been happening at the Babita Deokaran family, really speaking out, saying how it affected them as well, hearing the support, but still saying that one of the biggest issues that we have right now with the case of Babita Deokaran specifically is that those that have pulled the trigger, they have been held accountable. They found 6 people, behind bars, but the paymasters right now, they are still at large, and we don't know who exactly these paymasters are. Where do they lie in the origami of organizations and in government levels, if so as well? And we have no idea yet. So justice has not been served. We're just seeing one part of the network, but the big part, which is still your paymasters and those that have the power to sign off on these, huge claims and to do the corruptions, they're still at large.
And in light of all of that, it then makes it difficult for whistleblowers to come forward, because they don't feel like there's a sense of protection. As you say, others have fled the country, but others, they've paid with their lives, but others, for example, even their families now become under surveillance. So it's very difficult for a whistleblower to come forward.
And I think that's what you find these organizations trying to find ways, like including the SIU, of ensuring that those that come out are protected. They're calling for legislation, for policies to change. Whistleblower House, I know they were trying to find different ways, from creating safe houses, from giving them different incomes. But I think one of the biggest issues that I think whistleblowers would find, or those who are potential whistleblowers, is that if justice is not served, then was that really worth all the stress and all the putting their own marks on their back? I think that's where we're stuck at the moment.
Sure. Hasina, thank you so much for talking to us this afternoon. Quite an important story that we should never lose sight of. And that's, of course, the plight of whistleblowers, as we saw that picket there outside SARS offices in solidarity with the work that the organization is doing. That's Hasina Gori, my colleague, SABC News reporter.